Alright, we'll look at division of polynomials. First, we'll begin by looking at division just normal numbers. So if I divide 11 into 2,378, I first start to work out 11 into 2 won't go, so I'll go 11 into 23, which goes twice. So I write a 2 above a 3. So 2 times by 11 is 22. We then subtract those numbers, we end up with 1. We bring down the 7, and now we work out 11 into 17 goes once, so we put a 1 above the 7, and we work out 1 times 11 is 11. Once again we subtract, we end up with 6. We bring down the 8, so now it's 11 into 68, which would go 6 times, and 6 times by 11 is 66. Once again we subtract, we end up with a value of 2. So 11 goes into 2,378 216 times, which is actually called the quotient, and there is a remainder of 2. We do know that we can express that division as a mixed number, so 11 goes 260 times, and the remainder of 2 we write over the divisor of 11. Right, so if we then apply that strategy to division with polynomials, I've got x plus 3 into 2x cubed, take x squared, etc. It is important if your polynomial here has missing place value. Suppose there was no x squared, you'd have to write a 0 x squared in here. The place value will be important. Right, so x plus 3 into 2x cubed, etc. I'll work out what do I times x by to make 2x cubed. And if we work that out, it'll be 2x squared. So 2x squared multiplies the x to make 2x cubed, and I also multiply the 3 by the 2x squared and get plus 6x squared. Now we subtract that pair from above, so I encourage you to put brackets around it with a negative in front so we don't forget to take away all terms. And if we subtract, we lose the 2x cubed and we get a negative 7x squared. We then bring down the 3x. Now we work out what do we times the x by here to make minus 7x squared, and that will be a minus 7x, which we write up top. And once again we multiply the x plus 3 by the minus 7x. We'll get a minus 7x squared and a minus 21x. That is then subtracted. We lose the 7x squared. We end up with a positive 24x. Bring down the take 1. Once again, what do we times x by to make the 24x? It'll be a 24. Notice when we do it this way, all the x squareds are lined up, all the x's and all the constants. It is important if I'm dividing with 2 terms here, I start writing my answer 2 terms in. And that way it's a check to make sure all the places are correct. So now I multiply the x plus 3 by 24, and I'll get 24x plus 72. I'm going to take all that away, and I end up with negative 73, which is our remainder. So what I've done is p of x divided by the x plus 3. It gave a quotient of 2x squared minus 7x plus 24 with a remainder of negative 73. Now we can rewrite that in mixed number form. So once again the remainder becomes the numerator on the divisor. So we end up with take away 73 on the x plus 3. If I multiply both sides by the x plus 3, we can express p of x in terms of the quotient. Here's our quotient here, here's our divisor, and here's our remainder.